The eastern Ukraine erupted into chaos as a group of elite Brazilian fighters, serving alongside Ukrainian forces, launched a brutal and relentless assault on entrenched Russian positions. The attack, which took place in the early hours of the morning, was described by eyewitnesses as a storm of fire and steel that left Russian defenders in a state of utter disarray. With the battlefield shrouded in a thick haze of dust and gunpowder, the Brazilian fighters moved swiftly and decisively. Equipped with advanced assault rifles, grenade launchers, and night vision gear, they closed in on the Russian trench network with lethal precision, cutting through enemy resistance like a blade through cloth. The element of surprise was total Russian troops barely had time to react before their front lines were breached. According to frontline reports, the Brazilians advanced in small, agile fire teams, each covering the other's movement while laying down a punishing barrage of suppressive fire. Grenades exploded within the Russian trenches, sending shards of metal and soil into the air as the attackers pressed forward without pause. The sheer ferocity of the assault left defenders scrambling for cover, many abandoning their positions entirely. Ukrainian military sources confirmed that this operation was part of a larger offensive aimed at breaking through Russian fortifications in the region. The Brazilian fighters, many of whom are veterans of previous conflicts, were specifically chosen for their experience in close-quarters combat and rapid assault tactics. Their mission? To shatter the defensive line and open a gap for Ukrainian mechanized units to exploit. Video footage from helmet-mounted cameras showed intense firefights at point-blank range, with attackers leaping over sandbag barricades and engaging Russian troops inside their own fortifications. Muzzle flashes lit up the darkness, while tracer rounds streaked overhead like red-hot comets. The sound of automatic gunfire was unrelenting, blending with the screams of the wounded and the thunder of incoming artillery. As the Brazilians pushed deeper, resistance grew more desperate. Russian machine gunners attempted to hold the line, pouring fire down narrow trench corridors, but the attackers used smoke grenades to obscure their movements before flanking the gun positions. One dramatic moment captured on video showed a Brazilian fighter vaulting into a trench, dispatching two defenders with rapid, precise shots before signaling his squad to move forward. Within an hour, large sections of the Russian trench network had been overrun. Abandoned weapons, scattered ammunition, and hastily dropped personal gear littered the battlefield. Some Russian soldiers attempted to regroup and counterattack, but were cut down by the overwhelming firepower and relentless momentum of the assault. The operation did not come without cost. Ukrainian and Brazilian commanders acknowledged that several fighters were wounded during the assault, some critically, after being caught in crossfire or hit by shrapnel from artillery strikes. Yet, despite the danger, morale among the attackers remained high, fueled by the knowledge that their actions had dealt a severe blow to enemy defenses. Military analysts noted that the success of the Brazilian fighters was not only due to their skill and courage, but also to precise coordination with Ukrainian reconnaissance drones. These drones identified weak points in the Russian defenses and guided the assault teams to their targets, ensuring maximum impact and minimal delay. Their buzzing presence overhead was constant, feeding live imagery to command posts, while artillery units delivered precision strikes just ahead of the advancing troops.
Cuidado aí, metralhadora. Manda. Abaixa.
By midday, Ukrainian mechanized infantry had moved into the captured positions, fortifying them against possible counterattack. The smoldering remains of Russian fortifications testified to the ferocity of the morning's battle, with charred timbers, twisted metal, and cratered earth marking where grenades and explosives had detonated. The stench of burnt gunpowder and scorched earth hung thick in the air, clinging to the uniforms of every soldier present. Survivors from the Russian side described the assault as terrifying and unlike anything they had faced before. Many admitted that the speed and aggression of the Brazilian fighters made it impossible to mount an organized defense. "They came at us from everywhere," one captured soldier reportedly said, still shaking and covered in grime. "We didn't even have time to think, only to run." Others spoke of seeing comrades cut down in seconds, their bodies falling into the mud as the attackers swept past without hesitation. International observers have been quick to point out the symbolic significance of the operation. The presence of Brazilian fighters on the Ukraine highlights the growing international dimension of the war, with foreign volunteers bringing their own experience, tactics, and determination to Ukraine's fight. For Ukraine, the participation of these fighters not only boosts morale but also demonstrates a united front that stretches far beyond Europe's borders. While the Russian Ministry of Defense has yet to issue an official statement, pro-Kremlin channels have been scrambling to downplay the loss, claiming that Russian forces had staged a tactical withdrawal rather than being overwhelmed. However, the footage from multiple angles, along with independent war correspondents on site, paints a far bloodier and more decisive picture, one in which the Russian defenders were simply unable to hold their ground under the relentless storm. And as the front lines continue to shift, military planners on both sides know that such lightning assaults can change the momentum of a campaign in a matter of hours. The only certainty is that the next storm, when it comes, will be just as fierce, if not fiercer, than the last.
Ei! Todas que eu tô atirando igual tiro normal, tá subindo muito. Tá subindo pra caralho. Dá o seu jeito, filho. Você tem que atirar, beleza? Se bater, tu cai pro bunker. Vamos ligar.